how you grow what it is that you want to trade in when you're an entrepreneur. And I love what Mr. Yamson said, and that most often than not, we talk about entrepreneurship in farming in particular, in agric. We don't register the farm is not labeled, we don't even go anywhere to register a business in terms of what farming produce we are actually engaged in. It is all a very fluid issues with them, and I think him and I have never, that there is always a continuous engagement, that government is a continuum, that our contributions towards youth development cannot be in isolation, that indeed when we put in place policies, and it's why I love the school of thought, that also encourages us to focus on a collective, not for individual political party manifestos. I think that is also something that can push some of these initiatives, such as entrepreneurship, youth in agric, women in agric, and make it as, a very complex and complicated and concise document that each and every young person, be they Ghanaian or otherwise, in Ghana, who want to farm, who want to go into agric entrepreneurship, will see this as a policy document for not just one person, but for all of us. Because certainly, listen to the young people who have asked questions today, and they tell you something very, very interesting. We have one of the youngest populations, nearly 60%. That must mean that we have a great human resource available to us. We have great and talented young people with enormous skills. And all of these people are in the best age brackets of 35 and millions and billions from agriculture. I think that the future lies in this all-important sector. And I remember that the National Service used to be a very great youth agric-driven place, where many of our colleagues who went into farming actually took their experiences from and learned innovative ways of engaging in farming, for example. What excuse do we have not to produce there and realize that there was a very dilapidated school block? And so through her own corporate social responsibility, she decided to upgrade the school. What farming means for all of us as a people, beyond feeding, beyond innovation, beyond job creation, there is also that avenue that allows you to develop your communities. In Kwame, we've seen what he can do. The question we should be asking is for all of us here, Joyce, Kofi. So we know that all of us have enormous potential. We love the idea of entrepreneurship, but sometimes I ask, what is our view of entrepreneurship? Are we all leaving university with certificates and looking to find a job somewhere, be employed by somebody, or to do something innovative, something huge, something bigger than normal, and do it differently? Because you see, great entrepreneurs are sometimes even born. Because like I tell people all the time, I'm able to juggle, dedicate so many hours to doing all sorts of things because my mother was a real juggler. And even at 84, she still does a lot of juggling in all sorts of spheres of our economy. And an example that allows us to realize and harness this great potential that entrepreneurship has to offer, but especially when the entrepreneurship is backed by agriculture, agribusiness, or a certain value chain that allows us to make good use of our land, of our weather, and the climate. It's a heritage to all mankind. But unlike other places, we don't have aggressive weather conditions. Our weather is mild enough so we can build great business out of agricultural entrepreneurs. And I think this is what this platform allows and enables us to do, and affords us opportunities for the exchange of ideas. And when Prof speaks about the intellectual aspects of it, it tells you that when you actually reduce all that intellectualism into a business, into entrepreneurship, you can generate enormous funds and resources. Largely from families that have tilled lands forever. I mean, most Africans really, that's how we survive. In times past, there were many diseases and ailments that passed us by, largely because we ate what we produced and what we farmed. And we didn't have many pollutants or polluted things around us. So yes, we had probably the most organic of all farm products that we could think of. I think modernization is actually not helping us much. maybe it's time for us to go back to conversations about doing things the old way, the right way, but of course, with technological advancements, making it easier. Like recently, there was a documentary where people don't even have to farm with the little hoes anymore. That is tedious and backbreaking, knowing fully well that most of the people who engage in farming in our communities are mostly women. So yes, we need simpler ways, easier ways, and that is what education does for our communities. So when you leave school, what you can do then is to advance the cause of some other farmer. So in 2024, I'll be remiss to have an offer for anybody who is an agricultural entrepreneur or anybody who is an agricultural entrepreneur or in agriculture or in business of agriculture or in business of agric. So we have a great promise because the boss himself was born on a farm, worked on a farm, and currently has a huge farm that he loves to spend time on. So you can see a photograph here with him on his farm. And so yes, it tells you that farming can be made attractive for young people of all ages, each and every one of us. So our job is very, very simple. We want to encourage as many of our youth as possible to take up farming. Anything in the agricultural logistics chain is something that can add value, change your life, change your community, and build something for your future. We are resilient enough, and so to invest in agric. And don't be surprised that government will make it possible to call on all of us to return to what we love, to what God gave us as a gift, to what our spiritual ancestors left behind for us. That is to till our land, to feed our nation, and to serve as job creation endeavors for our young people. So it is all about survival, but it's also about restoring pride in agriculture as one of the most noble professions that all of us can ever think about. So we have a very simple call that we should start by looking at it from a very bright side, that the future for Ghana affairs, and we are Ghana affairs.